Welcome back to Live Alive. This is a YouTube channel for news, stories, and analysis surrounding Liverpool Football Club. I will update new video every day. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Caicedo'S agent admits Liverpool transfer would have been more stable than Chelsea. Moises Caicedo'S agent admits Liverpool represented a more stable project than Chelsea and says Jurgen Klopp's personal approach left the midfielder dizzy. The issue of not going to Liverpool instead of Chelsea was also very questioned. The offers were similar in every way. The issue is that due to a question of values and a question of principles and of giving the floor to someone, when Liverpool's offer arrived, Brighton were asked for time so that Chelsea could match it. They did that, they surpassed it, and he ended up at Chelsea because he had given the word to Chelsea and he told them for quite some time. Liverpool appeared very late and with a word given to Chelsea, with everything agreed. It was said that Moises Caicedo himself was already training in a Chelsea camp before officially signing. Let's be clear, he never did anything while he had contact with Brighton. The only thing he did was go to the locker room to pick up everything, and he told them clearly, "I'm not going to play here again." To make it clear. It was the only way to make it clear, because in the end you always talk to a teammate. The teammate goes to the coach or goes to someone from the board and they say, "No, there is a possibility that Moises will stay." Time goes by and that's what we didn't want. So a month later, when he came back from the situation in New York, he was there for the pre-season with Brighton. I travelled there and met with the owner of Brighton and the sporting director, and there between the four of us we talked about something that we later saw a lot of reality. This drastic decision was made because it was the only way to be able to leave. Liverpool were always interested. We always had meetings during those months between January and May, but since May we never heard from them again, and of course we were surprised that suddenly they appeared with something, an offer, that they said that they couldn't do. The first thing we are told is, tomorrow you have to go to Liverpool until you pass a medical examination. Of course, what is our reaction going to be if we have not negotiated? We have not spoken, we have not seen anything since May. The problem was Brighton, but when they tell us tomorrow, you can go to Liverpool, well of course the reaction is fine, but the funny thing is that they didn't tell us. They told us to undergo a medical with Liverpool without having an agreement. Without having said, yes, even the club wrote to Moises, with permission from Brighton, and so on, but our phone conversations were clear at all times. We were clear, as long as Chelsea offered the same conditions that Liverpool could do with Brighton, and as I say they surpassed it, so there was no complaint. It is very complicated. Imagine that Jurgen Klopp is writing to you, that Liverpool is calling you. We are talking about something very big. That is, one of the best teams in the world, just like Chelsea, and with a more established and more stabilized project than what Chelsea have today, which is a very ambitious project with a view to 2-3 years ahead. When Liverpool came and approached in that way, obviously Moises gets dizzy. I get dizzy myself. But Chelsea were by our side at all times asking us to go. They wanted an hour so that we could tell Brighton, so that they could match the offer, and they gave them an hour, and it ended in 2 days of negotiation. Liverpool's likely January signing one game away from perfect ending. Liverpool were told in no uncertain terms that they were not going to be able to sign Andre in the summer, with Fluminense president Mario Bittencourt telling them they would need to return in January. Brazil midfielder Andre Trindade is closing in on what would be a perfect Fluminense ending. With the 22-year-old a prime target for Liverpool in the January transfer window, the Reds moved for the defensive midfielder, who picked up his first cap for his country earlier this year, in the summer, but Fluminense rejected the idea of a transfer there and then, stating that they believed their squad had a real chance of picking up the Copa Libertadores, the South American Champions League, this season. That dream took a step closer on Wednesday night as Andre starred in a 2-1 win for Fluminense away at Brazilian rivals Internacional in the second leg of their semi-final, with 2 goals in the final 9 minutes from forwards John Kennedy and German Kono, seeing them dramatically turn around the tie to win 4-3 on aggregate. Flu have never won the Copa Libertadores before, and have now reached the final for the first time since 2008 when they lost to Ecuadorian side Liga de Quito. Former Real Madrid left-back Marcelo, who rejoined the club in February, said after the win, "People outside didn't believe us, but we did. This is a team of warriors." The win further vindicates Fluminense's decision to keep their squad together, and they will now face either Brazilian rivals Palmeiras or Argentina's Boca Juniors in the final at the iconic Maracana Stadium on November 4th. Boca play Palmeiras in the second leg of their semi in the early hours of Friday morning after a goalless first leg in Buenos Aires. Liverpool were told in no uncertain terms that they were not going to be able to sign Endre in the summer, with Fluminense president Mario Bittencourt telling them they would need to return in January after the Copa Libertadores campaign. Speaking last month, Bittencourt told ESPN Brazil, Liverpool's chief executive, Billy Hogan, contacted me directly. I replied to him, "My friend, I don't sell players now and I don't deliver them now. If you want to buy now, and only get the player in January, we can start talking. Or if you want to wait until December, we can talk in December." Jamie Carragher makes Liverpool title race prediction. Jamie Carragher reckons the Premier League will be praying that Liverpool don't miss out on the title by a single point after their VAR saga. Jurgen Klopp has put on record his hope for a replay of the Reds' defeat at Tottenham after the controversy surrounding Luis Diaz's disallowed goal and the subsequent revelations over how the refereeing team handled the decision. While ex-defender Carragher, 45, disagrees with pleas for a replay, he expects league bosses to be mindful of the issue as the season unfolds. He wrote in his Telegraph column, "The Premier League now finds itself in a position where it must hope Liverpool are not involved in another title race or a push for Champions League football, which is decided by a single point." The fact that Klopp has twice lost the Premier League title to Manchester City in such circumstances is undoubtedly on his mind. Nobody knows better than him that every point is crucial and is worth fighting for, especially when it has been denied your team because of reasons beyond your control, whether you agree with him or not. If that point is the difference between success and failure this season, it is wishful thinking to believe that Klopp has said everything there is to say on the significance of last Saturday. Liverpool narrowly missed out on the 2013-14 title after a controversial offside call denied Raheem Sterling a goal against eventual victors Manchester City. While they were also unhappy about a number of tight calls in the 2021-22 season, Carragher has outlined his surprise that the referees during the Tottenham game didn't bring back the match to rectify the error, despite it being deemed impossible given it had kicked off. He added, "VAR was created to identify and eradicate clear and obvious errors, not multiply them." What would have happened had they stopped the game? The VAR would have been congratulated, not vilified, and the PGMOL would have been relieved. That would have been preferable to the mess of the last 6 days. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.